world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m.
Let's go to something in the last couple of months that you're championing. You've had to call out actors and actresses about infidelity in marriage, jumping from one marriage to the other. You've also talked about morality. You've also talked about abuse in the industry. What is the challenge? Why is it that a lot of people in your business, especially the younger ones, can't keep their marriages and can't even be trusted, even in business and a whole lot? What is the challenge? You're an insider, and sometimes people like you, I can say you've seen it all. What is the problem?
They are influenced by what happens in Hollywood. In Hollywood, it is difficult to get a marriage lasting up to 10 years. Yeah. And they think it's the best way to carry on, There is something that I've heard a lot of people say in Igbo. That is exactly what happens to the people in Nollywood.
Like you're here,
yes,
but you want to be there.
You want to be there, that stupid obsession with bilocation. I believe that there is nothing you want from any other woman that your wife does not have. Even all the excitement you get from rushing into a woman comes from you, not from the woman. I mean, sometimes let's really philosophize and get into our heads, all this madness about sex that obsesses us. You look at a woman and you think this woman is better than your wife and all that. You hop into this woman. She's not better. She's not better. But you see, most of our women, our girls in Nollywood, allow themselves to be obsessed by what they read of actresses in Hollywood.
So is it a men issue, a women issue?
I will say, yes, I will say both, but the women much more. Yeah. You see, most of our women want to get married and want to still stay single. That is the problem.
How do you do that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Vin, that is the problem. You are married. There's a girl somewhere who is single and she's doing such and so thing.
You want to do the same?
You want to do the same thing while you're still under your... No, it does not work that way. It doesn't work.
And then the men too want to be married and want to remain single.
The men are married. They think they can get excitement outside. This is why it's both ways. But you see, I had to speak on International Women's Day, and I said something. It is only a woman who converts a house into a home.
Yes.
A house remains a house until a woman moves into that house, right? It becomes a home. And I said another thing. The power of a woman is in her tongue. If your wife does not drive you to madness, no other person can. But if you are able to contain whatever poison your woman spews from her mouth, you can run a country comfortably. Once upon a time, there was a guy called Sonny Liston, who was the world heavyweight champion. He was addressing a press conference. His wife was in a car waiting for him. After some time, she thought he had spent so much time. She walked into that press conference and slapped him, berated him, while he's been waiting her time, blah, 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 and she walked out and went back to the car. And the man said, all right. To conclude, she's the only person in the world who can do that. And he left. He did not go to retaliate, but we'll kill her if he retaliates. But she has slapped him. I mean, women are the only people in a position to behave like that. You will be a mad person if you go to retaliate. We were having a press conference once at the government house here with Upabi Asika. I don't know what annoyed his wife. And she came out with an axe. And she was mowing down the Rolls Royce that was there in front of us. Yeah. And he went to Upabi, said, well, for those of you who are married, I mean, this is new, this is not new. We said yes. And we continued with our yeah, we did. Amadi Ikweche, I don't know whether he's still alive or dead now. He was formerly...
A former governor.
Yeah, we were all in Zaria. Amadi was a very good footballer now. You know how spotless he could be when he puts on his naval uniform. Good. The wife poured over on him with... God.
So
when he was he looked. He said, I'm coming. He went and took it off. I mean, the woman will do anything in the world to provoke you. If you strike her, you could kill her. But you see, you employ philosophy. I think it was Socrates who was talking to a lot of people. The wife was waiting for him. The wife had eaten. He hadn't eaten. And the wife said, look, come and eat. It was there, you know, and I thought I'd eat, you know. The wife was so angry. After shouting on him, she went inside, collected the water with which they had washed their hands and poured on him in front of all those pupils. Nobody told them, it's a gentleman. After thunder comes rain, and they continued. Yeah, I mean, the woman had blown all the thunder, then she capped it with the rain, and that was it, you know. So,
it's both ways.
Yeah. You see, most of these youngsters are really not, they're not prepared for the challenges of marriage, you know. So when those challenges come, you know, they can't cope with them. They can't.
You know, a lot of people, forgive me, but I have to ask you. A lot of people, I mean, you think the way you think, and then your son, is in all this, getting married today, not getting married. What do you tell him?
I don't want to comment on it because the case is in court. Yeah, I don't. If the case were not in court, we would have discussed it, but it is in court. I mean, he's my son. So it's not a safe area, it's sub judice, it's in court, so let's leave it.
Okay. So just about a week ago from today that we're having this interview, you were 77 and you were celebrated. When you look back from those years in Kaduna where you grew up and all that, don't tell me you're an interested party. How would do you think Peter Duce has done well?
Well, if you take a good look at this house, I don't think it's a poor effort. That's my house. And to build this house, I never borrowed a kobo from anybody. Not from the bank, not from my friends, not a pin. Every kobo that went into this house was earned. And I feel happy about it, right? It is well furnished. If you sit down in my parlor and I put on the 2 air conditioners there, you will sleep off. So I thank my God that at my age, I have a roof over my head, which is mine. I have children who look after me. This is a very big car. If I take off this thing, you will see the car I'm talking about. The Christmas gift from my son. One of them. So I don't think I have done badly. I thank God that one, I am still alive at 77, and I'm still going on. You see, I've had a lot of people say that age is just a number. That's a very stupid statement. If a person tells you that age is a number, slap that person. Age is not just a number, no. Vin, when you begin to age, the first thing you lose is your memory. Age attacks your memory before attacking any other part of your body. Yeah. Sometimes you can't hear what people are saying, and they're talking to you. Sometimes you can't see properly. These things come with age. Every young man at a stage in his or her life must suffer something that has got to do with the prostate. I've moved out because of that and back. I have gone to India. There are many other people in the industry who are suffering the same. There are people in the industry who've lost their memory entirely. So if somebody tells you that age is a number, that's a very flippant, silly, stupid talk. It's not. But we all pray to age. And as you're aging, you're looking at your children coming up. That tells you that you're aging. You're getting frail, right? When I climb upstairs now to go and lie down and sleep, it is with plenty of effort. It was not like that when I built the house, right? I could take the stairs 2 at a time, but now I have to climb, like a chameleon, gradually, So, if I look at my mates, people who schooled with me and people who worked with me in the broadcasting house, I'm not sure that anybody in the management who is still active. No. Most of the directors are dead now, and
So there's so much to thank God for.
Listen, on the day of my birthday, 5 Reverend Fathers celebrated Mass for me here. The Vicar General was representing the Bishop, and it was the Vicar General for the entire, including Onitsha and all that. I don't have the word for it. Then the head of the Spiritans, we had 3 professors who were Reverend Fathers who were there, and the only person there who came all the way from South Africa, has just been ordained a priest. All the others are doctors from beginning to the end. They've been in this thing. Good. And I said to myself, Pete, if you can attract this distinguished assembly to come and officiate on your birthday, I think God knows you've done your best. In whatever I do, God comes first. Vin, in whatever I do, God comes first. And I don't let money determine my relationship with anybody. No. Vin, I have known you for so many years. You have always been like this. I have not caught you quarreling with anybody. You are not a commissioner, you are not a minister. But being your friend, or you being my friend, is something I treasure very much. Yeah. I have shot so many films in your house. Anytime we come to the place, your wife gives us all the attention, and all that. The children come around me, have photographs. You know, that is the kind of thing that gives me a lot of joy. It is not knowing governors and knowing commissioners. All these things are transient. That's not what I value. I think about God in whatever I do. Then I think about my relationship with individuals. That matters a lot. There is no way you can appreciate God except you are involved with the individuals around you. You look at all the faces of people around you. They have eyes, they have ears, they have nose, they have mouth. No two people look the same. That makes you appreciate God, right? Good. So if you ask me, I would say I think I have done well for myself by the grace of God, yeah.
Are you bothered? Are you worried about what we see in Nollywood? Very, actors doing well, have a good run, and then they get, after so many years, they can't even take care of themselves. And then people have to contribute money for them to go to hospital. They don't have houses where they live in. What is the reason? Why does it happen? Is it that they don't make hay during the sunshine? Or, tell me, you're there. You're like a father in Nollywood. What's the problem?
I am. First of all, let me talk about priorities. People make money and maybe their priorities are not quite the same as ours, who believe that getting a roof above your head is the most important thing. I mean, you get married, you have children. The next thing is think about a house, right? There are people in the industry, well, not all of them in as much as we do, but who earn money. It's unfortunate that we don't all earn very well. And when somebody takes ill and there is an advertisement, people are pleading with society to help go to the hospital. For me, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Nothing at all. Then number two, if somebody has meant so much to you as an actor, for example, a lot of people celebrate me, for which I thank God. On the day I was celebrating my 77th birthday, there were 4 rams outside their brain. The 4 rams. All those rams came in that day, right? Before then, about 4 or 5 rams had been brought here. And all these are in appreciation of what you have meant to them, right? People come here with their children. They wanted to take photographs with them, right? I have never denied anybody the opportunity of taking photographs with me. If I go outside now, there are 20 people who want to, I would just say, give me a seat. I will sit down. Oh yeah? After taking photographs with all of them, I'll say, okay, can I go now? Yeah, Daddy, you can go now. And again, it gives me a lot of joy.
But yes. The question I'm asking is, movie stars are not the only professionals. They are that professionals. And they make money. They earn a lot of money. So why do we keep having these issues of, I mean, you have to call the entire world to contribute money. Is it something you guys should consider, maybe a fund where people can start saving? I'm just asking, is this something? Yes, it is not wrong for people to help somebody in need, but the preponderance for this in Nollywood is becoming embarrassing.
You may consider it embarrassing. For me, it
Or would rather we don't talk about it?
No. You see, like I said, I went to India for prostate and all that stuff. If I didn't tell you that now, you wouldn't know.
Yes, I would.
It was not advertised, and all that. Because by the grace of God, my circumstances made it possible for me to do that. I didn't have to go soliciting for assistance. No. Somehow, it was handled by the family. Good. Not everybody is in a position to do that. Right now, to take a man to India, etc., bring him back, I don't know. Don't even imagine how much it's going to cost. It would be difficult for any actor, as it is today in this country, to afford on his own to go outside, get treated, and come back. It's difficult. And if the doctor says, this is the only place you have to go, appealing to the public, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
There are a lot of people who have money who would want to see you. Okay, wait. When Christian Chukwu was ill, Otedola brought $50,000. I think the government also brought some money. It was Otedola's intervention that made it possible for Christian to go abroad for treatment. I love him for that. I wish I would meet him one day, and I'm going to shake hands with him, right? Okay. The man who owns Peace,
Mass transit and all that.
this man, when xenophobia was about engulfing the entire Nigerians who were there in South Africa, he went there and collected Nigerians back home, free of charge.
The man that owns Airpeace.
Yeah. He brought them back. That's what I call being a Nigerian. Nobody asked him to, but he thought he owed himself that duty. He found himself in a position to do that. There are so many Nigerians who have buildings, who have private jets, who have a lot of money. And I'll tell you something, if you get up tomorrow and say, this man is ill, I am going to sponsor his treatment, you're a hero. Like the first person who said he was coming to Ibu's aid, his father was formerly a very big name in Kwara,
Is it Saraki?
Saraki. Then others came, right? Good. I mean, if tomorrow it is said that Pirotie is ill, first of all, I come back to the word embarrassment. My family will be embarrassed if my picture is put out with me, helpless, on a hospital bed. I don't think I would like it, right? But if there's any way of soliciting assistance without sort of embarrassment, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Because we're almost ending our conversation.
No problems at all, yeah.
I'm enjoying our conversation. One thing I've heard people say is that you're a good family man. And even in Nollywood, you've also proven that you can be a big star and still have a good home.
Yeah, why?
Tell me the secret of your success in the family, and then the wonderful relationship you have with your wife?
I joined broadcasting with my wife the same year, the same month. She's a very brilliant woman. She went out, she read law, and came back to the family. We've been together for 55 years, my wife and I, and nobody has ever come to say, Pete, please stop beating this woman, because I never saw my father beat my mother. And all my sons, none of them had ever raised his hand against his wife, not even you. Yeah, I can tell you that with authority. My wife understands me, and I understand her. By the grace of God, I can provide for all her needs, and I thank God for that. Again, what makes a success in any family is the ability of the man to pick up the bills. I have never asked my wife how much she earns as a lawyer, how much she was given as a gratuity. No, I don't have any need for all that. No. Whatever she wants to do with her money is her business. I don't,
So is instructional that the success, number one success of a marriage is that the man should be able to pick the bills.
Yeah.
Take care of his family.
Exactly. Yeah. The moment you find that you cannot handle that aspect, then you're a failure as a man. Yeah. I mean, you went to the father to pay the bride price, right? And you were told, take care of our daughter. One thing we never do in Nollywood is to actually show the interaction between both families when it comes to arranging marriage before you get on to pay the bride price. Vin, you go to most places, you are told, oh, you'll pay 200,000, 250,000. You run around and you get that money. You give it to the man. He takes 20,000 from there and say, take the rest. You are surprised.
Take care of my daughter.
Yeah, just take care of my daughter. I'm not selling her to you. No, don't worry. Go. And that's it. And that's it. I mean, you will now come to realize that you are marrying into a family that appreciates you. You owe that man an obligation to ensure that you take care of his daughter. Oh, come on, good. You want to go? You take care of his daughter. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't have any need to look out. I mean, I'm so satisfied staying at home, right? Occasionally, I just get on to drive me around and come back. And I sit back here. I mean, I enjoy sitting out here, enjoying the breeze, but it's very hot these days, right? Or I go right upstairs.
But you're a superstar. I mean, and you've been a superstar for a long while.
I agree.
You didn't become a superstar at 77. You admire us about men and women.
I agree.
How have you handled the women aspect of it? Because you can't tell me that over these years you didn't have, such interest.
You remind me of the question I asked Zeke at a time. I said, Nanyo Wele, when you came back from America, you were a strikingly good-looking young man, tall, and you were being appreciated by the women. I mean, they didn't have their overtures towards you. How were you able to cope with them, the women? You know what he told me? He said, well, my son, I did whatever any man my age would have done. And I answered it. Does that answer you?
Peter, I must thank you so much. Hey. All the times I come to talk to you, I find it as an exciting experience.
When the issues matter and the need to know matters. The chief of staff of Nigeria couldn't go to his village because it was being occupied by Boko Haram.
Politicians and political parties have massively used money to buy votes and to change the course of electoral direction.
You will also remember the very APC itself set up a Rufai committee recommending restructuring doesn't mean anything. Go back to federalism.
Or the fun and the fair to relieve everyday care.
Life is a riddle, my son. The land bled when Uvorawen was put in shackles. Heaven wept when Saruwiwa was laid to rest.
Everything comes with the Judge Too Funny. Everything comes with who I am.
The Signature Show, your show that matters.
Why is it, how is it that the furniture market is booming? How is it? Why is it that the electronic market is booming? It is because of corruption. We have to face it head on. There is corruption in the land. Very serious corruption is embedded in our system. Why is it that in a country where a lot of our, the majority of our population cannot afford three meals, in fact 2 meals in a day? Where do people get all the money with which they are buying all the things that you mentioned? Furniture and electronics. Go to the automobile market. Go along Kubwa Road. Go around Nigeria. You see how people are buying obscene cars. Okay. And so on and so forth. When people are facing a real crisis of existence. Yes. You cannot legislate people to go and die. You cannot make a law that everybody that LG should file out and go and die in Nigeria. You cannot make a law that Honda should file out and go and die.
How do you mean?
What I'm saying is that even Dunlop that was here had gone. And other companies, why are they going? The environment of doing business in Nigeria is very, very hostile and bad. And we can handle it. We can change it. That is the starting point. It's not by legislating people to death or legislating corporations to go and die, because this is a dying field for corporations.
We need to make laws
because of corruption, because
because friendly.
Do you have rules to drive on? Do you have security? Do you have what do you have? No. Do you have the look at our credit system? I was a banker. Look at our credit system. How much access do people have to access capital for doing business? You don't have any access. Our banks are irresponsible. The banks in Nigeria are totally irresponsible. I was a banker, but I'm embarrassed about the kind of irresponsibility of our banks. They are just milking the people and are not helping the economy at all. The banks are the facilitators. They are the energizers of economic development. Without the banks, there's very little the economy can do. But the banks are not helping, and nobody's talking about regulation. I should suggest, I should rather say that the central bank should come down on the banks very heavily. Let them become responsible. In other crimes, you have banks handhold little micro companies, incubate them, and then grow them. In Nigeria, it doesn't happen at all. Yeah. The Nigerian companies, they lend only to the people who they think are big. But some people who are small sometimes before they become big. And what do those people do with it? Do they produce anything that we can see? But the small and medium scale enterprise sector, that's the engine of growth. If we don't encourage them, that's not where we are going. That there are things that this government, our government, must confront. For somebody to bring business in Nigeria is the thing that will help us to survive. So you don't give the person any room of incentive. Nothing like an incentive exists in Nigeria. They tax people to death in Nigeria here. There are multiple taxations. The government does not care. The environment is hostile. A farmer who wants to produce rice, we leave him to the weather, to the elements. We leave him to go and face the banks. We leave him to go and buy his machinery. We leave him to go and do everything, to go and invest even in research. Somebody wants to be a rice farmer. He first of all invests in research in the high yielding varieties of rice.
He produces the seedlings. He does everything. He gets nothing from his government. That is not the way to. Till we realize that for somebody to accept to do business, you must support him deliberately. It's not by accident. You need to give them loans, soft loans, grants of all sorts, just to make them to produce. Because if they don't produce, we continue to die the way we are doing.
When the issues matter and the need to know matters.
The chief of staff of Nigeria couldn't go to his village because it was being occupied by Boko Haram.
Politicians and political parties have massively used money to buy votes and to change the course of electoral direction.
You will also remember the very APC itself set up El-Rufai committee recommending restructuring doesn't mean anything. Go back to federalism.
Or the fun and the fair to relieve everyday care.
Life is a riddle, my son. The land bled when Ovoranwen was put in shackles. Heaven wept when Saruwiwa was laid to rest.
Everything comes with the Judge Too Funny. Everything comes with who I am.
The Signature Show, your show that matters.
There's something that has been very dear to your heart. You know, the canonization process of Iwene Tansi. What is it, because he comes from the same area with you, or are there other reasons why you have, you know, made this campaign very important to you?
I am glad that you mentioned this. First of all, one of the earliest priests to be ordained in Igbo land, in fact, the second after Bishop ENUGU, you know, the second. Now, he is somebody who lived such a pious life that God chose him. It's easy to observe. People required to know who this man is. A lot of people did not know him until I was approached by the church to do a film on this man. I embarked on a very exhaustive research to get materials on him, and somehow, as the good Lord would have it, my father schooled with him, and his mother comes from my hometown. So a lot of people around know so much about him. When I finished doing the script, it was sent to Rome. Bishop Cardinal Arinze read it and said, this is this man's history, because he baptized Cardinal Arinze. And Arinze wrote me a personal letter and said, if we could shoot the film to be as good as the script, the job on Tansi is done. And we shot the film, thanks to the former governor of Rivers State, Dr. Peter Odili, who gave me the initial grant, which was I embarked on the production. Along the line, I was injecting money at the short films, and by the grace of God, it ended up as an incredible production. We were now given a second mandate. Take this thing round the whole country. And for 15 years we were on the road. Yeah. The fervor, the enthusiasm, the anxiety for his canonization, all these are beginning to die down now because of poor follow-up on the part of the Reverend Fathers. Yeah. If you let people know that the struggle for his canonization is still on, then the worship will still continue. The prayers will continue. Except in parishes that are named after him now, I don't see any of these things around. And I think it's particularly painful because if you don't keep praying in this man's name, you may not get the only miracle that is required now for his canonization. We've gone through all the different stages, veneration and all, venerable, I said. We just require one more miracle to make him a saint. He's in heaven already. I mean, that's incontestable. But to make him a saint, you know. But we know that by the grace of God, we'll get it. We'll get it, you know. Normally it takes time, you know. May not even be in our lifetime, right? But we pray it happens in our lifetime. If you pray with the name of Father Tansy, you will get results that will amaze you. Yeah. You will get results that will amaze you if you pray in his name to God. You know, God so loves Father Tansy that in spite of the disability, he still wound up as a priest. You know, if you're not complete as a man, you cannot be ordained as a priest. He lost an eye in a playground, but was still ordained as a priest. You know, in 1937, along with Obelagwa and Wanebo, before he went over to England, St. Bernard's monastery, to become a monk. You know, he died there at the age of 61 in 1964, the year I was leaving the secondary school. And the process of his canonization has been so fast. Yeah. People pray in his name to God and look, wonders happen. Yeah. If you have his key holder inside your car, and then what's that thing we place in front of our cars, you know? No matter the nature of accident you have, you must come out of it and talk about it. Yeah. No matter the nature of accident you have, you will come out and talk about it. Number two, if you have that Tansy figurine on the dashboard of your car, then you will never be stranded wherever it is you're going to. You won't. No matter where you are going to. I will only give you one example. A young man was traveling from Abakaliki to Uyo en route on a very cold, eerie night. His tire began to wobble and he stopped on the way. There was no sign of life anywhere. Everything was so dark. He went and examined his tire. Only one knot was still holding onto that tire. The other three had fallen off. And he went down on his knees and said, Blessed Tansy, if I had listened to Peter Doche, this wouldn't have happened to me, but forgive me, please. Forgive me. Two people, that night on a motorbike, came to him. What is the problem? He told them. They said, one of them said, okay, you stay here, I'm coming. He drove off on his motorbike. Came back a few minutes later with all the knots complete. And they tightened the tire. Then they asked him, drive it and make sure it's no more wobbly. He did. He came back, opened the car to thank them. He didn't see anybody.
Again.
He did not see anybody again. He just opened just to say, because thank you. And when everybody, the two men had disappeared. They had disappeared. He came to Uyo to give this evidence, right? He was there. The little girl who helped us to sell materials at Onichuku was working in the bank, and she overpaid somebody by 20,000, and this girl started crying. She cried and cried and cried, and she brought out that Tansy figurine, and he said, Blessed Tansy, Peter Doche told her that if we are in trouble, we'll call on you. If you don't help me now, I will be sacked. One man just walked in and looked at her and said, "What is the problem?" He said, "Do you have the man's number?" He said, "No." He said, "Okay, try this number." He gave the girl a number. She called that number and she got the man she overpaid. And he said, "Please, I overpaid you by 20,000. If you don't return the money, I'll be sacked." The man said, "Wait, let me count the money." He counted it. He said, "You're right. You overpaid me by 20,000. I am coming to bring back the money." The girl thanked God, looked around for that man. He didn't see him again. Went into the manager's office, looked around the whole bank. He didn't see the man again, nothing. That's Tansi for you. And this is how he has helped a lot of people. There is nothing you call on Tansi in times of difficulty that you won't get an answer. I'm a living witness. Most of the things I'm telling you now, there are ones that are bigger than this. I just remember these two now to let you know. Yeah.
But can you leave an advice for me, for Nigerians, for people in your industry, and for your admirers all over the world? Can you leave, an advice? What will that advice be about life, about how to be successful, about how to have a life of peace? Well, besides, you're now a very elder statesman. I hope you know that.
First and foremost, I praise God first. I'm a Catholic. Good. Now, every day at 7:30 p.m., I hear Mass on television from EWTN. Every single day. Yeah, by the grace of God, I'm going to do it again today. I did it yesterday. Yeah, every single day. And in other words, every day of my life, I'm hearing Mass. And it means a lot to me. And one more thing I didn't tell you, for which I thank God immensely, is that all the people I have prayed for have all been very successful. All, without exception. Yeah. I thank God for that. There are so many gifts that the good Lord gave me. I can't go into details now, but I'll tell you something. Anybody who is mad, who is demented, and is destroying things, if you stand in front of me and I look at you, you keep all those things away and you talk sensibly. It has continued that way, even when I went for training in the BBC. Yeah. I remember telling my colleagues, I saw one woman who was right. I said, "This woman is coming to see me. She will beg me for money, I will give her, she will go back, she won't talk to any of you." And for them, Peter Abiakwa also. Then this woman came. She looked at me. "Have you got tuppence to spare?" I gave her £1. God bless you. She turned around and she left. The other two people, unfortunately, those other two people who trained with me are dead now. Joyce and Chikazubi Kela, but they rest in peace. They wouldn't believe what they saw. I have had a lot of demented people come to stay with me in my house and living with me very peacefully, and what happens now after they would have left? You see, what I'm begging God for now is let their cure be permanent. Nyabi, that's what I'm begging the Almighty now. Okay. That aside, I want people to encourage us in what we are doing. There is one film we want to shoot, and we've been begging people who have connection to help us raise the money to shoot it. And that is what happened in 1803, called the Igbo Landing in America. Vin, if you Google it, you will know what happened. Igbo Landing, 1803 in America. 75 Igbos were drowned. They said instead of being sold into slavery, this river that brought us here will take us back. And those 75 people are from my place. And what were they singing? Omabala Ibuanye Bia. Omabala Ige Ibuanye Na. Omabala, if that river at Otuacha It's a tributary of the Atlantic. That's Somabala. You know. At the moment I heard that, actually it was in the year 2012 or 2015 that Katrina Cholon, which is dead now, a professor of history, she came here with 2 people from America to come and give me this message. And what they said, try as much as possible to ensure that you carry out this directive. 1, to shoot the film. Number 2, to ensure that those people, their spirits are pacified. Because if you go there at night, you will still hear their voices up till this moment. If you go there, yeah. This is what we've been running around to try to achieve. It is going to be my legacy if I can achieve that. And by the grace of the Almighty, I will. That's what I want to see if I can achieve. I mean, you, Vin, find out details about it, you know. And then beg our people, let them not allow blandishments from the audience dissuade them from their commitment to interpreting characters, which is the major challenge of the industry. You interpret characters, but you still maintain your character. In other words, you have so many characters in one, but you can still relate to people, right? Don't allow reactions from individuals get into your head. The moment that does, you are prompted to live beyond your means, and that is very destructive. This is what has destroyed a lot of actors today, right? When you live beyond your means, when you go and buy a car, get paid for it, these things destroy people, right? But if you have the philosophy to cope with stardom and the demands of a celebrity status, come on, you're under no illusion about your professional relevance or the status in which you find yourself. No. First of all, whatever you are, God made it possible. So if you ignore that aspect, I want to live beyond it, it's a big challenge.
The great Pete Edochie, Chief Doctor Pete Edochie. Let me congratulate you again on your 77th, and thank you for your time. Well, I've been speaking with the great Pete Edochie, Chief Doctor Pete Edochie, M.O.N. Actor, broadcaster, so many of this and so many of that. Thanks for watching. I am Vin Martin Obiora Ilu from ENUGU, Nigeria. Thanking you for watching and asking you to watch this program again on signaturetv.org and also join us on our social media handles. Bye for now.
are local.
The international community is observing every...
Just finished the
Where the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
Girl, Queen It, yes. This is another edition, of course. Another episode where we tend to give you top chats and stories, trending dramas, everything that has to do with entertainment industry, from arts, pop culture, music, movies, name them. And of course, I have an interesting guest today that we'll be having conversations with, and I have a whole lot of things to review to you, so you don't want to miss out on today's edition. But first, let's delve into the stories of the day. Sabrina, the 32-year-old entrepreneur from Edo State, has made a surprise voluntary exit from the Big Brother Naija house, citing medical reasons. And the announcement, delivered in an emotional moment shared with fellow housemates, marks the first voluntary departure of the season. Her exit comes less than 24 hours after 2 other housemates were evicted, reducing the contestants' pool by 3 in a single day, and significantly shifting the house dynamics. Before the entry, the Big Brother house, Sabrina had already made a name for herself, a graduate of the London School of Economics with a master's degree. She built a multifaceted career as a model, motivational speaker, and entrepreneur. Sabrina's departure has left a noticeable void in the house. While it's still uncertain whether she would return later in the season, fans are already speculating about her absence might reshape alliance, influence strategies, and alter the overall energy of the game. So I think this is actually the first time that a housemate is exiting voluntarily from the house because of health issues, right? I don't know. We don't know what could have maybe transpired. Of course, health issues can be a reason why people will fall out of some certain contracts and jobs and all that. So a reality TV show cannot even be left out. But let's wish her well. Let's hope that maybe after a while she'll come back.
Good morning and welcome to another wonderful day here on Signature TV. This is Signature Morning and I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha. And today is a very special day because I am not going to be on set alone. I have a wonderful, lovely lady here with me this morning. How are you today? Good morning.
Good morning, Uche.
I mean, introduce yourself. Tell them who you are.
Okay, good morning, Nigeria. I am Lillian Wadi.
Yes, lovely to have you on set today.
Thank you, Uche.
All right, and how are you feeling this morning?
Well, I'm beautiful. I am okay. I am super excited to be on set with you today.
I'm super excited to have you as well.
Me too.
All right, so we'll be going on a very quick break, and when we return, we'll have our newspaper headlines and review coming up in a moment. Do stay with us. Welcome back. It's time for our newspaper headlines. Today is Tuesday, the 12th day of August 2025. And on the headlines this morning, we'll be starting with the Daily Times newspaper. And on the headlines of the Daily Times, we have blind physically challenged group cripple activities at Lagos Airport on page 2.
And NICO to sustain downstream oil sector investment. And we'll also find out on page 2.
Toga applauds NIDCOM's strategic role in promoting Nigeria's 4D agenda.
And on Blueprint, we will also see NAF kills over 400 bandits in Zamfara Forest air raid.
All right, and we have EFCC grills ex-Sokoto Governor Tambuwal over 189 billion naira cash withdrawals.
And Customs seizes 10 billion naira contraband arms drugs at Lagos Airport.
Now over to the Nigerian Tribune. We have Value Jet Ibom Air incident. It's double standard. Justice must be fair, equal. This is from OB with riders. Police arraign female passenger. Court remands her at Kirikiri prison. Airline operators ban her from flying for life. FG to punish Ibom Air official who released passengers indecent video. You can find that on page 4.
And cautious optimism as INEC braces up for CVR exercise. And also on Tribune, you will find DSS arraigned 5 over 2022 Owo church killings. And you will find that on page 3.
All right, we have UBA unveils revamped group website, and on health, FDA approves new eye drop that can fix farsightedness without glasses.
Now moving over to Daily Trust. EFCC detains Tambuwal, invites ex-governor Emeka Ihedioha. You will find that on page 4.
All right, World Bank approves $300 million to support IDPs in northern Nigeria.
5 months after FG ban, another tanker explodes in Kaduna State.
All right, Boko Haram kills 3 soldiers, abducts school girl in Borno, and still on the Daily Trust, we have another Katsina LG enters peace deal with bandits.
Now on the Punch newspaper, panic in ADC as EFCC goes after key members. EFCC grills coalition member Tambuwal over 189 billion fraud in Seaton probe, and key coalition members push back as anti-graft body summons 3 ex-governors.
Still on the Punch newspaper, FG generates 5.21 trillion naira from oil sales in H1.
And 5 also, as we have seen on the Punch newspaper, over 2022 Owo Church 5-phase trials. And Ogun removes demolition seal as Daniel threatens Abiodun with lawsuits. And you are going to find that on page 25.
Now over to the Guardian newspaper. On the headlines on page 6, we have digital tinted glass permits, glitches, extortion as police insist on new tinted permits, shift deadline.
Okay, also on the Guardian newspaper, NYSC versus Vaye, Ventral Art says LP as lawyer threatens lawsuit. And Oyebanji sacks commissioners, others in Ekiti cabinet reshuffle. That you're going to find on page 7.
Protests rock Yelwata as gunmen kill 3 in fresh attack. And finally on the Guardian, visually impaired protesters block airport road over closure of Farm Craft Center. All right, and that is the much we can take on the newspaper headlines this morning. And it's time for our review. As always, we have Chris Maduka, the Oracle, this morning. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Uche, and good morning, Lillian.
Good morning.
I am blessed among 2 women this morning.
How are you today?
To be here. Well, it's okay. It's bright and early, and I will give glory to God.
Yes.
And not more when we have 2 beautiful ladies gracing the set this morning on newspaper review. So let's fire the fire.
Yes,
I'm motivated with 2 ladies by my side. I can go on.
We have a lot of headlines this morning. This Ibom Air saga on the Tribune, Value Jet Ibom Air incident.
Ibom Air. I read somewhere off the set where somebody was saying, I've also seen a viral video of a white woman who also played the same role in an aircraft in a foreign country. So the person was saying, we have Kwan 1 in Nigeria, we have Kwan 2 at Akwa Ibom with the Ibom Air, and we have Kwan 3 across the board. That whatever goes around comes around. What is important is that we should begin to apply the fact that most people are really mad in this time. I don't know, is it this madness, is it actually monopoly of the Gen Z generation. We are the millennials. We say
it's
we are
not just
almost
Gen Z.
because we have not seen any Christian father like me going mad in at the airport. It's like you have certain age. You know, okay, the Kwan one could be linked towards the. But one thing becomes clear: when there is an error, when there is fault, when somebody goes against the law, treat that person clean and clear forthwith, so that when second one comes, from what happened with Ibon Air, and you can see what Peter Obi said, quit is also, I think, the mind of many Nigerians. If they treated Kwan 1 very well, Kwan 2 could also go the same way. Because my father told me, it's a little complex. You know, in the village houses, you have these holes made on the wall where chicken go through and come out. When you want to make that hole, you call it impio, you make it a universal size, so that the big chicken can pass, small chicken can pass and go through and come in and out. So, but when you are making that hole for chickens to pass, you do it with the small roast size. When the mother hen comes, it won't pass. That is the issue with Nigeria, of double standard, of who commits the offense. Before we talk about punishment, what they did to the lady that gone viral in Ibon Air, they could have done to the man who committed the same offense in Abuja airport. So why treating them differently? This is double standard, and everybody, we have shown the world that Nigeria do not have even a standard. Not to talk about whether it's double or 500 double. There is something wrong.
All right, Chris, just before you continue with that, we'll go on a very short break, and when we return, we'll continue with the review. Do stay with us.
We are local.
When the main market is in chaos, people.
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome back. We're still on our newspaper review with Chris Maduka this morning. All right, let's go to the next headline.
Okay, Chris, let's talk about EFCC detains Tambuwal, invites ex-governor Emeka Ihedioha. What do you have to say, sir?
It's the same issue of double standard going on. Let it not be what we are thinking. Because in another headline, that's punchy punch. He said there's pain in ADC as EFCC goes after key members of ADC. If Tambuwal is down, and we suspect Tambuwal may have been part of the coalition in the ADC or whatever, then Ihedioha, evidently, it means there is unwritten or underlying statement being made by somebody somewhere. If that is true, we just pray it's not true. But if that is true, we are using our own hands to destroy ourselves. Because it's the same thing I said. If they are clear, why now? Why arresting them now? When did they commit the offense? Why is the FCC after Tambuwal Emeka Ihedioha? Remember, Emeka Ihedioha's tenure as governor of Imo State, that did not hold, and after his long tenure at the National Assembly, he went to make an attempt. It was that attempt that failed, and then we found Hope Uzodinma on the seat. that long time was not enough, why arresting him now? Is sending bad signal to Nigerian politics and the whole world watching. Let it not be. Let it be that they are being called or questioned for offense they committed. But there are certain things you do good thing at a bad time, it becomes bad. So we should have been timely dealing with issues when they come up. When these governors leave office, invite them. EFCC has been there. EFCC didn't start today. Why now? And they've been read politically, which is going to become cause a lot of, heating up of the polity. If you have done this long time, nobody will align it to that probably government at the center is against the opposition. And that's the clear statement everybody is reading. Whether it's true or false, the government at the center should be mindful of it because nobody will pretend he didn't hear it.
Exactly. Now there's another sad one. I mean, we're seeing Boko Haram insurgents again. Armed headers, Boko Haram kill soldiers and others in Benue, Borno. This is on the Vanguard. It's also on the Daily Times as well.
The insecurity in Nigeria has been a continuous thing. This is about what Nigeria has come to deal with for the last 20 years. We salute the courage of the security forces, and we are saying that there's something that they always say, the allusion that Ibe Malaysia Akazodia, when truth suffers, something wrong is happening at the back. And let it not be also true, because we have bled enough as a country. The people that are being killed, even in retaliation, they are human beings. Because the other side, in Blueprint, you hear where they say Nigerian Air Force kills over 400 of the bandits, and in the other side, the newspaper you refer to, they are being they kill soldiers and people, and killing and counter killing will not solve any problem. The people being killed and the people who are counter killed are human beings. Blood and sweat runs in them. Nobody would prefer that it's full-blown war. Kill me, I kill you, has not solved any problem. You only perpetuate wickedness in our system. You continue killing, and the way killing continues, it won't stop. Because you kill me, I kill you, kill me. How long will this? Until we find a way of stopping it totally. This killing is enough. We have bled enough as a country, and something should be done. We encourage the security forces. But in any case, when it is this way, they say, when the naked the bird flies without perching, the hunter will find to shoot without
aiming.
So you use the measure by which people measure for you to measure for them. We appeal to the bandits, although the people said you don't negotiate with them. But you appeal to the Nigerians are dying. So it touches me. Let's move on.
Well, okay, now let's look at what Custom did here on the Blueprint. Custom seizes 10 billion naira contraband, arms, drugs at Lagos port.
It's when the Customs have been seizing contraband. This morning, when we hear they also seize arms involved, it calls for attention. The security forces should look at it. Somebody prepares. You see, when you say there is porousness in the way we do business in Nigeria, I sit in my house, order arms. The thing goes from the source, pass through the shipping lines, comes to the wharf. Somebody clears it. Somewhere along the line, to inside in the interiors and itinerary roads of Nigeria, customs on the road start seizing goods. For this thing has made this far, to that point the customs begin to seize. It shows that the porousness and corruption and the mind that Nigerians are dealing with this, that we are actually part of the cause of our problem. Some of Nigerians are in serious positions that has to do with our life, but they collect what they call blood money. Somebody at the port may have cleared these goods, knowing fully well, or might not know, but because you did not go through the process, because somebody greased your palms, you allow it enter. Beyond the ones they seized, what of the ones that were not seized? You know how complex and big Nigeria is. So, when I tell the story of Yenema Isainaka, I still stand by it. Most of the problems that we are going through in Nigeria are caused by Nigeria. Nigerians are the custom. Nigerians are the people who are the ports. Nigerians are the people who are doing the paper clearing. Nigerians are the people who clear goods. Nigerians are the people who even import. Nigerians are the people who do these deals and do this. Even Nigerians are the people who are dealing deals with bandits. And so, who will go and bring Americans to come and solve the problem we caused by ourselves? Remember, no matter how you make your math, rely on it.
Exactly. All right, now just before our time is up, this tinted permit we're seeing on the Nigerian Tribune, tinted permit, police extend enforcement until October 2nd, and on the Guardian as well, it says glitches, extortion as police insist on new tinted permits shift deadline. I mean, this tinted permit issue is not.
No, I think they've opened another shop for the Nigerian police. I make bold to say. I remember, I think in 2018, the issue of tinted permit came. It was like
exactly
people. I know for me to travel for Christmas with my family, I stayed in a police station for 3 days to get tinted permit. Paid heavily. Why do we have new process of tinted permit? Came all over again. I know what glitches, corruption, bribery that exchange hands when this issue of tinted permit came. And the question is, do we need tinted permit? If Nigeria have a standard, why do we need to tint?
I mean, some cars come tinted.
It's the Nigerian big men and the elites that are causing this problem, creating problem for the police, because police always see the room. If you are importing, and they say you cannot import tinted car. Some people go to markets, motor pass, you see where people are tinting. What for? I have the idea any car in Nigeria I see tinted has criminal intent. Why should we promote criminal intention? What are we tinting for? If your hands are clean, why are you tinting for? It's the same police. I know I used to have one Tokumbo car. When I was walking between ENUGU and Abakaliki, each time in the morning I go, police will stop me. It's only the back, the windows and the boot that were tinted. They were telling me, when they told one thing I won't forget, and let everybody mark it. They told me that if the criminals kidnap me and put me inside this bonnet, nobody will know when they. I said, but you are why did you stop me? And you open my boot and check. Why are you stopping all cars that have tinted permit? Nigerian elite are the cause of our problem because some of them are criminal minded. Why do you need to tint your car? Who are you tinting it for?
So are you saying that they should stop
even in National Assembly, people in government are tinting it. Why? Why are you tinting cars? When you have, with all the security apparatus you cover yourself, you still tint your car. And then what is good for the geese is good for the gander. So if you tint, your citizen will tint. For the citizen to tint, the Nigerian police become a shop of their head, collecting money and bribe and passing through process. But the hardship and hunger to register tinted car. Is this our problem now? Why not ban that you don't want tinted cars in Nigeria? Everybody will rest. So what? So the open market, remember, is the man who fetched anti-infested firewood by saying that lizards should come for a visit. And that's it. So Nigeria wants a tinted car. Good luck, Nigerian police. Because I assure you, if I'm working with Nigerian police, with all this hardship and hunger in Nigeria, you come with tinted car and you cannot prove why you have it. What is that you?
With this hardship and hunger, I mean, I just saw a headline now on the Vanguard that says hunger, poverty beyond mere statistics in Nigeria. So I'm just.
We have talked about many times. The statistics are here just for some political correct. Nigerian statistics about how many Nigerians that are hungry that they can't afford even a meal. Nigerian Bureau of Statistics is overwhelmed, and no other organizations. In fact, it's the foreign organization that even gives statistics that at times you can deal with. So, my dear sisters, we are not at home. Nigeria is not at home. Nigerians are hungry, and I keep crying because even me, I'm hungry as I talk, and I'm going through the hardship. So you can imagine. Somebody said, I use myself to know that only the man is ENUGU. I won't break it down. So when you know that you are hungry too, you just imagine yourself, and then look in the society and see some people who cannot afford a meal. And that's when you begin to appreciate that Nigerians are really going through hell. So when we shout for the Nigerian politicians to look through, to start doing something instead of talk. The statistics of how many Nigerians that are hungry is overwhelming. It cannot be compared. Who will compile it? Even the people who compile it are hungry. So the system is hungry. Everything. We are not failed state. Somebody was saying we are not. But we have shown evidences that our system, that our state is failing. Yeah. God forbid. So, Uche, because you already looking at me the normal way and saying time is up, we have done enough. We want to say, God bless
Nigeria for those
who deserve to be blessed. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you. Chris, thank you. That was very, very, very insightful. And we'll be going on a short break, and when we return, our morning show continues.
Today being the 12th day of August 2025 is International Youth Day. Now, what is International Youth Day? You know, it is an annual observance that provides governments, organizations, and communities with an opportunity to spotlight the challenges and opportunities facing young people worldwide. It serves as a platform to raise awareness of youth-related issues and to celebrate the positive contributions of young people to society.
And celebrations take many forms across the globe, from concerts, workshops, and cultural festivals to policy meetings involving government officials, youth-led organizations, and community leaders. The origins of the International Youth Day trace back to the World Conference of Ministers responsible for youth held in Lisbon, Portugal from 8 to 12 August 1998. At its first session, the conference adopted a resolution proclaiming August 12 as International Youth Day. The recommendation was later endorsed by the United Nations General Assembly on 17 December through the adoption of Resolution 54/120.
Now, each year, International Youth Day focuses on a specific theme to highlight key issues affecting youth and their role in global development. Now, over the years, from 2014, we have youth and mental health. 2015 was youth and civic engagement. 2016, the road to 2030, eradicating poverty and achieving sustainable consumption and production. 2017, youth building peace. 2018, safe spaces for youth. 2019, transforming education. 2020, youth engagement for global action. In 2021, it was transforming food systems, youth innovation for human and planetary health. In 2022, intergenerational solidarity, creating a world for all ages. 2023, green skills for youth towards a sustainable world. And 2024, from clicks to progress, youth digital pathways for sustainable development. And now, through these annual themes and activities, International Youth Day encourages the global community to listen to young voices, address their concerns, and recognize their role as partners in building a better future.
Okay, so this day is not just a celebration, it's also a call to action. Each year, the UN chooses a specific theme that highlights a major challenge or opportunity for young people, such as climate change, education, employment, or technology. Events are organized worldwide, from community forums and cultural festivals to debates, workshops, and volunteer projects, all aimed at amplifying youth voices and inspiring real challenge. The heart of International Youth Day lies in the belief that young people are not only leaders of the future, but also change makers of today. By equipping them with skills, opportunities, and platforms to be heard, societies can create a more inclusive, innovative, and sustainable future for everyone. International Youth Day is about celebrating youth, listening to their voices, and empowering them to shape the world they will inherit.
Now, International Youth Day is an annual observance, that provides governments, organizations, and communities with an opportunity to spotlight the challenges and opportunities facing young people worldwide. It serves as a platform to raise awareness of youth-related issues and to celebrate the positive contributions of young people to society. Now, celebrations take many forms across the globe, from concerts, workshops, and cultural festivals to policy meetings involving government officials, youth-led organizations, and community leaders. So, Lillian, I think it's safe to say Happy International Youth Day to you.
Happy International Youth Day!
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Right, the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Women's health is multifaceted and complex. Across the globe, women face a range of health issues, many of which are unique to their gender. From reproductive health to mental well-being, these challenges can significantly impact their quality of life. But the good news is, with awareness and proactive care, many of these issues can be managed and even prevented. We will take a closer look at some of the most common health issues affecting women, and more importantly, how women can address them for better health and well-being. Let's begin with one of the most important aspects of women's health, reproductive health. From puberty to menopause, women experience significant hormonal changes that affect their bodies in different ways. Menstruation, pregnancy, and menopause all bring their own set of challenges. For many women, heavy periods, painful cramps, and irregular cycles are part of their lives. These conditions can be symptoms of underlying issues like endometriosis, polycystic ovary syndrome, or fibroids. While these conditions are common, they often go untreated or are simply accepted as normal. Addressing these issues begins with awareness. Regular gynecological exams, open conversations with healthcare providers, and tracking menstrual cycles can help identify when something is wrong. Early detection and treatment can make a significant difference in managing symptoms and maintaining a good quality of life. As women enter premenopause and eventually reach menopause, they face new challenges, often associated with fluctuating hormones. Symptoms such as hot flashes, mood swings, insomnia, and vaginal dryness are just some of the common effects that can be uncomfortable and disruptive. While menopause is a natural phase of life, women can manage these symptoms in a variety of ways. For some, hormone replacement therapy may be helpful, but for others, lifestyle changes such as regular exercise, a balanced diet, stress reduction techniques, and staying hydrated can bring relief. It is crucial for women to consult their healthcare provider to determine the best approach for managing menopause and to ensure that they are not suffering in silence. Mental health is another significant area of concern for women. Anxiety, depression, and stress affect women at higher rates more than men. Life's many pressures, work, family, societal expectations can take a toll on a woman's mental health. Many women also face eating disorders and struggles with body image, often exacerbated by unrealistic beauty standards portrayed in media. Unfortunately, women tend to carry a large emotional burden, sometimes feeling that they must juggle all of life's demands without asking for help. The first step in addressing mental health issues is to break the silence. Seeking professional help, whether through therapy, medication, or support groups, is essential for healing. Women must understand that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. In addition to professional treatment, self-care practices like mindfulness, exercise, healthy eating, and maintaining strong social connections are also crucial for supporting mental well-being. Another common but often overlooked issue for women is osteoporosis, a condition that causes bones to become brittle and weak. Women are at a much higher risk of developing osteoporosis, particularly after menopause, when the body's estrogen levels decline. This can lead to fractures, especially in the hip, spine, and wrist. The good news is that osteoporosis can often be prevented or managed with proper nutrition, including calcium and vitamin D, along with weight-bearing exercises. Regular bone density tests can help detect early signs of osteoporosis so that women can take proactive steps to maintain their bone health. Autoimmune diseases are another significant health concern for women. Conditions like lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and multiple sclerosis affect women more frequently than men, and they often require complex treatment regimens. The symptoms can be vague and vary greatly from person to person, making diagnosis difficult. For women living with autoimmune diseases, it is crucial to find a healthcare provider who understands the complexities of these conditions. Early diagnosis and personalized treatment plans, often involving a combination of medication, lifestyle changes, and support, can help manage symptoms and prevent flare-ups. In the face of all these health challenges, one thing is clear: women's health is a lifelong journey. It requires constant attention, awareness, and proactive care. Whether it is reproductive health, mental health, heart disease, or autoimmune conditions, women can lead healthier lives by staying informed and seeking the right support. The key to addressing these health issues is recognizing the importance of regular checkups, healthy habits, and most importantly, knowing that it is okay to ask for help. Women deserve to live not only longer lives, but healthier lives, one where their health is a priority. Thank you for joining us today. We hope this special report has empowered you to take charge of your health and embrace a proactive approach to your well-being. Stay strong, stay healthy.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on eVibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
So I should try harder. So
Okay, I don't know that one.
outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on eVibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
The president of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, Mrs. Yetunde Ilori, says the newly signed Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025 will promote fairness and inclusivity across the sector. Speaking in Lagos, Ilori explained that the law consolidates existing regulations, strengthens industry obligations, and supports the federal government's drive towards a $1 trillion economy. She stressed that the act was developed with input from all stakeholders and is not intended to favor any group. The CIIN president urged the National Insurance Commission to ensure swift and effective implementation to enhance capital generation and protect policyholders' interests. The Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) has commenced the use of its National Electronic Invoicing System, known as the Electronic Fiscal System, for large taxpayers in Nigeria. The system, which took effect on August 1st, is part of efforts to improve transparency, curb revenue leakages, and enhance tax compliance. Under the new rule, companies with an annual turnover of 5 billion naira and above are required to issue, transmit, and validate invoices in real time through the FIRS platform. The service said over 1,000 companies have already begun integration, and the deadline for full compliance has been extended to November 1st to allow smooth onboarding. The federal government has met with key stakeholders to develop strategies for reviving Nigeria's textile and apparel industry. The meeting, held in Lagos, brought together representatives from the Bank of Industry, the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, and industry leaders. Discussions focused on tackling challenges such as low production capacity, rising imports, and the need for industrial parks and the national skills framework. Participants also called for enforcement of Executive Order 003, which mandates government agencies to source uniforms locally. The government pledged policy reforms, investments, and partnerships to restore the sector's competitiveness and create jobs. The National Identity Management Commission has ordered all its diaspora front-end partners, those accredited agencies registering Nigerians abroad, to secure and activate new National Identification Number (NIN) enrollment licenses within just 48 hours. This urgent move comes on the heels of a major upgrade to the diaspora registration platform, which promises enhanced security, better efficiency, and more reliable service delivery. NIMC has also set up a special support team to help agents facing issues. NIN enrollment continues uninterrupted for Nigerians at home. The United Arab Emirates has introduced a new regulation requiring travelers carrying valuables worth more than 60,000 dirhams, that's about $16,300 to declare them before arrival or departure. The rule covers cash, jewelry, precious stones, and other high-value items and applies at airports in Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, and Ras Al Khaimah. Travelers must submit the declaration online through the AFSER platform or mobile app using the UAE Pass. Customs authorities say the move will enhance security and transparency. Failure to comply could result in confiscation, fines, or prosecution, and ignorance of the law will not be accepted as an excuse. And that's business news on Global News. I am Tumsinime Natus.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
The secondary schools from the Nsukka Education Zone on Sunday emerged the overall winners of the finals of the 2025 Governor Peter Mbah Secondary School Sports. The zone emerged winners with 12 gold, 12 silver and 10 bronze medals. The second runner-ups, Udi Zone, came second with 8 gold, 5 silver and 4 bronze, while Agu Zone came third with 5 gold, 9 silver and 3 bronze. For emerging overall winners, Nsukka Zone won a prize money of 1 million naira. From the state government, Udi Zone smiled home with 500,000 naira, while Agu Zone got 300,000 naira. The host zone, ENUGU Zone, won the trophy in the boys football category by beating their opponents Nsukka Zone by 2-0.
Before we start the press conference, I just want to share the information that I decided to leave this club in this summer. And respectfully, it's a club and it's helping me to my decision. So I just want to share this information before we start the press conference.
Tottenham brought in a new manager this summer, Sold Son, and now aims to boost their squad with the first signing from Manchester City. According to Fabrizio Romano, the Spurs have reached out to the citizens regarding a possible transfer for Savinio. The player appears to be open to the move. and talks between the clubs are currently on the way. Tottenham manager Thomas Frank has described Savinho as the perfect fit for his squad. Last season, Savinho made 48 appearances for City's first team, netting 3 goals and providing 13 assists. Crystal Palace chairman Steve Parish says the club will sell captain Mark Gay this summer to avoid losing him on a free at the end of his contract. The Eagles rejected offers for defender Gay from Newcastle United in January, the last of which was worth £65 million, in the hope the defender would sign a new deal in southwest London. But the England international has now entered the final 12 months of his deal at Selhurst Park and appears no closer to extending his contract. Gay is said to be open to remaining with the club until 2026, at which point he can leave on a free transfer. England's Rehan Ahmed produced an all-round performance as Trent Rockets beat Northern Superchargers by 5 wickets to maintain their unbeaten start in the men's 100. The 20-year-old collected 2-23 as the Superchargers were restricted to 124-9 before scoring 31, as the Rockets completed their chase with 4 balls to spare. Dan Lawrence became the 4th member of the Superchargers' top 5 to depart without reaching double figures when he was bowled by Ahmed. Australia back Charlotte Caslick has been ruled out of the Rugby World Cup after failing to recover from ankle surgery. Caslick, 30, sustained the injury in last month's defeat by New Zealand but was hoping to be back in time for Australia's opening game against Samoa on the 23rd of August. The Olympic gold medalist and 7th World Cup winner switched to 15A side this year to represent the Wallaroos at the year's tournament in England. Ireland failed in their quest to complete a T20 International Series clean sweep against Pakistan as they lost the 3rd and final match by 8 wickets at the Clontarf Cricket Club in Dublin. Louis Tennant's side won the first 2 games to clinch the series, but Muniba Ali's unbeaten century helped Pakistan on their way to victory on Sunday. Next up for Ireland are their T20 World Cup qualifiers later this month as they face Germany, Netherlands and Italy. The World Cup begins on 22nd August with the final to take place at Twickenham on 27th September. And that's sport news on Signature TV. I am Christopher Lely.
See the world shape the way we change it. Gender checkbox. It's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
We are local.
The international community is observing
Right, the main market is in chaos. People are
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the view by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
It was a gathering of family members and relations, distinguished personalities, government functionaries, football administrators, former players and colleagues, and members of the public at St. Andrew's Anglican Church, Transekulu, ENUGU, where Christian Chukwu worshipped until his death. The service of songs began with soul-stirring choir ministrations, Bible passages and hymns, which set the tone for ministration, reflection, tribute and celebration of a life well lived. Then came Bible readings reflecting the ephemeral nature of life and the need for Christians to prepare adequately for life after death. In his sermon, the Anglican Bishop of Nike Diocese, Right Reverend Dr. Onyeka Onya, stated that the most important thing in the life of every Christian is how prepared he is for eternity and not what he is at the moment. Bishop Onya therefore encouraged all to reflect on their lives and do away with everything that will constitute a hindrance to their salvation.
Hell is never full. It will never be full. Heaven is never full. It will never be full. What will happen is that there will be a day, like in the day of Noah. There was a time for the shutting of the ark door. There is a day that is coming in your life. When people will gather and they say, what happened? I say, don't you know that bishop? 1 year, he died. We are doing service of songs. They can die. Anybody can die. You can die any day. You are afraid of death because you refuse to fear the Lord. If you fear the Lord, you will never fear death again.
He extolled the qualities of the late footballer and his wife and entire Chukwu family for their role in the church, especially at their home church at Obe, where he started his ministry as a priest. The State Commissioner for Children, Gender and Social Development, Ngozi Eni, who represented Governor Peter Mbah at the service, extolled the virtues of the late footballer and coach, which she said endeared him to many beyond the shores of the country. She encouraged the family, especially the wife, to bear the loss with fortitude and trust in God.
On behalf of the government and the people of ENUGU State, I extend our deepest condolences to his family and to all of him. May the Lord grant him eternal rest, and may his legacy continue to inspire generations to come.
The Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Lloyd Ekweremadu, reaffirmed the commitment of the Enugu State government to honoring the late Christian Chukwu.
The government is fully part of this process of honoring our brother, our father, and our icon, Chairman Christian Chukwu. So that's the capacity on here. And then on the other part of the question you asked, this is the first of the programs that have been itemized and have been planned to honor Chairman Christian Chukwu.
Family members and loved ones shared their testimonies on the life, legacy, and the impact of Christian Chukwu on those that were around him.
In fact, he's the one that has united all of the human and family. He's a gentleman, a peaceful man. They are dealing with him more than one exactly that's made up. You're so alert. A Julian man. I have seen governors jump up, only saying governors will jump up. They will be dancing like children. But whenever you call him, you say, I don't like anybody, stressing me, or if you go there, the children will start insulting you. I don't like all those things. I learned that from him, that he never used his name, he never used his powers, he never used all of this to ever try to get people to himself.
A member of the burial committee, Ben Etiaba, and the senior advocate of Nigeria, also spoke on the life of Christian Chukwu and the burial arrangement, as well as the need to immortalize him.
Christian was an African legend, and we want our stories to be told. We want a situation where, in many decades to come, kids in this part of Nigeria, kids in Nigeria, and indeed in Africa, will get to understand and about what he did. And if you don't tell your story, others will tell that story in a different way and in a way that you may not like.
Christian Chukwu made Nigerians, particularly from this side of the world, feel so good. You may not know, but those of us who were children after the war, the people from this part of the world were like devastated. So the Christian Chukwu, more than any single individual, as captain of the Rangers for a long period of time, carried the hopes, carries the aspirations, was an instrument by which people here gathered their lives together, built up their confidence, and so that any time Rangers played, with Christian Chukwu leading them so commendably, there were more than just 11 young men wearing white kicking football. They carried so much more. And like I said, it was a teamwork. But Christian Chukwu more, in my own view, more than anybody, symbolized Rangers. He was the greatest captain of Rangers, and I dare say, the greatest captain of any football club, and most probably the Green Eagles.
The service of songs was witnessed by many ex-Rangers players and coaches, including veteran goalkeeper Emmanuel Okala and midfielder Sylvanus Okpala, who were both members of the 1980 AFCON winning team. Lilian Wali, reporting for Signature TV.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on eVibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
I should try harder, so...
Okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that.
Oh.
That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on eVibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
The way we see the world shapes the way we change it. Gender isn't just a checkbox, it's a lens, one that helps us understand the world more deeply and act more fairly. Gender Perspectives, a program for those ready to see more, do more, and be more. Designed to challenge assumptions, ignite conversations, and build inclusive solutions across every sector of society.
We are not, fighting the men. We are not saying we are equal in terms of rights. We're only asking they should recognize our existence.
Join us on Gender Perspectives, showing every Saturday by 4 p.m. Repeat every Wednesdays by 5 p.m. and Thursdays by 3 p.m. Change begins with perspective. Let's widen yours.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
We are local.
The international community is observing every
Why the main market is in chaos. People are
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the bill by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald
11
Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
political.
The international community is observing every
When the main market is in chaos, people are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye. Aye.
We have taken the blue by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Signature Morning here on Signature TV. And now for years, Zamfara has been a state, plagued with a lot of terrorist attacks, and families pray each morning that their loved ones make it back home. And in the midst of all of this, we're seeing Bello Tuji, one of the most feared bandits in the area, is suddenly talking peace with, the clerics. Now, joining us this morning via Zoom from Birnin Kebbi is Barrister Aminu Kalgo, former Secretary, MBA Kebbi State, to talk on, the popular bandit leader, Tuji Bello, peace moves and the implications. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
Good morning, Barrister. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Now let's look at the mood in Zamfara. Now for years, we are seeing that communities there have lived in a lot of gunfire attacks and fear of constant kidnapping. And now Tuji is suddenly calling for peace. Now, from where you stand, how would you assess this peace move and this peace deal that Tuji is moving with the clerics? What exactly does it say about the bigger picture and the security, in the Northwest?
The issue of banditry, as you know, is quite one of the major issues in Nigeria today, because issues of insecurity are the paramount, concern of every government, because you need to have peace before you can have effective governance. And the impression I want to clear is that Bello Turji, by and large, operates within Sokoto State, the northern part of Sokoto State. That's where he is well known for the notorious attacks and how his influence is overbearing on the people living there. What I want to say is this is not the first time such things are happening. And what I want to say that among commentators, you find that some are pro these initiatives and some are against it. But what really matters is I remember that there was a time, for the first time during the presidency of President Muhammadu Buhari, there was a time when Turji was singing song and extending hands for issue of making a settlement or an agreement, but he was not heard. And it was at a moment where the toll against him was so high. There is the momentum of attacks were so high. And that regime, during the former administration, they maintained that they will not negotiate unless they are in position of power, having the upper hand. Well, that said, what really remains, and is a fact, that the military onslaught, that is the use of arms alone, was unable to solve this problem, which has lingered now for over, getting to 8 or 10 years now. So there are a lot of times when you would have that the military making an announcement that they have dislodged these people, or some of them have been killed, the kingpins, only for them to resurface. The people on the ground, whether the government, have any truce with these bandits or not, the populace, who are citizens of Nigeria, are always entering agreement with these bandits for them to access their farms, the ransom they put on them, and what have you. So the situation is so great and massive that one way cannot solve it. That is the truth of the matter. Because if the firepower could have solved this problem by now, I think we should have forgotten it. So to me, I think when you have the ordinary people already entering agreement with these people, why not have a better one? And significantly, what we have now, we have one that is working in Kaduna, in the Birnin Gwari area. You see? And so our problem here in Nigeria is we have pockets of different measures. During the Buhari regime, when Katsina was the first state to have entered into truce with these bandits, on the other side, on the borders of Kaduna, the governor there was saying he will never enter into any truce or agreement with the bandits. So I think we need to have a synergetic approach, the federal government, the state government, and also the locals when we go into this. Because now many states have come out to say, well, they are not aware of this initiative. The most important person regarding this Bello Turji truce was a cleric who is popularly known as Asadu Sunnah. This man is a cleric. He went and commenced this issue of trying to see that if he could broker a truce with Turji. But from what he is saying, he has the blessings of the federal government in venturing into that. So in a nutshell, this is the kind of situation we are having. While we are having this, the governor of Niger State is crying out loud that he would never have anything, any sit down or any truce with these bandits. So this is the kind of situation we have on ground now.
Okay, so Barrister, for victims who have actually lost everything, is forgiveness even possible without justice, or is it just too much? What do you tell the mother who is, at the dining table waiting for her son to come back? Is this peace treaty enough? What are the implications?
I want to tell you that the survival instinct in human is so great. Even if you lost anyone, and now it is your life that is you are fighting for, to see how you will safeguard it or continue to even lose it, I think the survival instinct will click in, and you will also opt for life. What I'm trying to say, despite all what is lost, those that are surviving will want to have a secured life rather than in search of revenge, and everyone will get consumed. So forgiveness, I think no one can forgive, can forgive when he lost someone. He cannot forget it. But letting it go when you understand that this situation cannot be, no one can fight it to the end. And more so when you find out this trajectory of conflict is taking another dimension, trying to go on to racial profiling. to say that these headsmen, all of them are so, and the city dwellers are this. So when it gets to that, that's the kind of fight that no one can finish. So at one point, I think people will have to come and choose peace. That's why the human phenomenon, you have wars. But even after any war, there must be people who lose this and that. But the instinct for survival and peace will prevail, and people will come and move on. So that's how I see it.
All right, now let's look at the the legitimacy and peace, because people are of different opinions. Right? Some people are of the opinion that if talking to him brings peace, then why not? And then we also find some people who are of the opinion that you cannot sit down with someone like that who is accused of killing so many people without undermining the law. So I'd like to know, where exactly, should the line be drawn? Where exactly do we draw the line between, talking of peace with a bandit like this and maintaining law and order as well?
Humanity, issues of humans are very flexible and delicate. The law is there, definitely, but don't underestimate the political aspect of life. And no matter what crimes one could have committed, in order to move ahead, you have certain things in law that allow for that. You can see that there is something known as the presidential pardon. No matter what you act, politically, the president may try to invoke that power to pardon someone, irrespective of what he has committed. Why do we have such things? Such things are there to allow people to move on. Let me give you an example with Nigeria. Nigeria has undergone a civil war. We know that. But after all is said and done, we know what happened with the former General Ojukwu. He was on exile as a leader of that of the Biafra. But you see, when Nigeria have settled, he was pardoned and he came back and he lived in Nigeria so that in society, the fabric of society can match. So these are some of the things that you see. Yes, the issue of wronging all the law saying this and that is there, but at times when you break truth, whenever people take weapons and grow stronger to a level of being believing, because these people are like governments. They impose this to those societies. Those societies don't want to live there, but it has become, for them to survive, they have to succumb. So it's a very, very bad situation. And for it to continue, I think it's not in the best interest of anyone. I am not trying to stand for anyone, but I want to look at what really those people are going into. We hear from them daily. It was very, very bad. So now, and when this truce was made, even when it was done in Katsina, part of Zamfara, those who agree to enter into this truce will have to face other enemies, other bandits that are not willing to join them. So for now, I think from the cleric who has spearhead this agreement with Turkey have released, I think, over 30 abductees, and he has also released some weapons. For me, I think engaging him is another thing that we can explore to see where we head to. For me, I have to summon the courage of this cleric for even taking that danger to go and meet these people. I think it's a courageous thing that he has done, irrespective of what other people have said. For me, I think it's a courageous thing.
Okay, so having the government allow a bandit work freely, do you think granting to Jibelo a deal encourages other criminals to take up arms, knowing negotiations are possible?
You see, in issues of humans, There is no, you always find interlock. It's not about allowing him just to go freely. No, now let's take the other way around. Let's not allow him to go free. Then let's deal with him. Are we able to deal with him? That's the question. If we are able to deal with it, we won't even begin this talk of negotiation. Do you understand what I'm talking about? This is more than what? Getting to 10 years. And look at how this cleric walk, travel, and go and meet this person. We know where he is. This is the kind of war that is very, very difficult. Because don't think of these hostages that they take here and there. They have towns, cities under hostage because they have already taken power in such places. So killing them have become a problem. They are deeply embedded in civilian population. So it's a guerrilla warfare that is very, very delicate, and it has proven in the world to be a very, very difficult war to complete. The Russians were in Afghanistan for 10 years. After taking superiority, air superiority, ground superiority, but because of the Mujahideen are embedded in civilians, they live for 10 years, but they have to pack out. Same with the Americans. You can see how they have fled out of Afghanistan. What I'm just trying to say, these are people that, irrespective of these people that you hear they abduct from here to there, no, they have already, captured some towns. All the populations are hostages, an area. So that's why the military are finding it very difficult. If it is a clear map, you have anyone here, and you have people here, they can be carpet bombed. Anyone knows. So what we are trying to do is, this is what we call experience. If you cannot get results by this way alone, then you should look at the second option. And for the people now, anyone who has his relative abducted, I don't think you can convince him to say paying ransom is not the proper thing to do for him to get his loved one. But principally, it's not encouraging. Whenever you pay ransom, you embolden them. But when you tell someone who has his relative abducted, do you think he can understand? So that's the survival instinct we are talking about.
Now, speaking of survival instincts, you've already applauded the clerics for having the courage to make this move. And we're seeing that it wasn't the army, it wasn't the government, but, clerics who were able to convince him to release hostages and hand over weapons. But I'd like to know, what does that say, about the state's credibility, or the government of the state, when we are seeing that religious leaders are succeeding in an area where, it seems like they haven't, been able to break through? Does it have anything to, does it play any role, or does it impact the state government in any way, seeing that the religious leaders are doing their jobs for them?
Let me put the proper perspective. You see, this cleric who have gone down to some part of Sokoto is not living in Sokoto. He's a cleric that's within, I'm not sure, as Kaduna, Zaria, for you to see how things can happen. I think we know the state government, when it comes to issue of security, they don't have much to say, because security is on the exclusive list of the federal government. That said, they will have an ancillary role when it comes to that, because they have commissioner of police, and at times they have leaders of the army, commanding army in their state, but they are not taken directly from the governor. But the governor can meet with him and address them on issues that he deems that need to be taken care of. But by and large, security is in the hands of the federal government. What I want to say, there are a lot of people that are concerned. Before, I know there was a lecturer in Sokoto State who have, in his research, went into these dungeons of several of these bandits, and he collated and presented a paper on what we have seen. So I just want to tell you that there are people who are worried, and they are trying all the things to see what can they bring which can help this country get out of this quagmire. There's no easy solution for what we are in, but every a bit of progress we can make, I think, is commendable. I think the government, what the government needs to do, the federal government, and all the state governments that are involved in this, they have to strategize. I'm not imploring that the carrot, I mean, the carrot principle is the only way. The stick and carrot must go by hand in hand for us to know where to use the stick and where to use the carrot for us to have what we need. My problem is when one of these principal partners is acting alone. For example, the federal government is venturing into this without involving the locals or without involving the state governors for them to know what is coming and what we are heading to. So I think it has to be a holistic approach.
Okay, so with this peace deal, does it mean the affected communities can go about their days and their activities without fear? Or is it just, the quoting or the promises of the government as usual?
The peace deal is not a concluded one. What Bello Turji has done is to show that what kind of results can we get if a full peace deal is thought. So it is showing he ensured that all the people around that locality can go on to cultivate their lands. And so far, all what we are getting since he made that, people are going to their farms and cultivating. And this is a man that has even released a video for you to know that they are following what is happening. He released a video castigating some of the clerics that were against any talks or any negotiations with him. He is highlighting a lot of things that all these killings and what have you, no one is a winner and everyone is tired of it. So I have seen a picture before, I mean, a clip. Those people of those localities are forced. I mean, they have no option. You see them gathering and going to cultivate Bello Turchi's farm. I saw that clip. What used to happen to our leaders before when people voluntarily will cultivate for their chief, cultivate the farm, harvest it for him, do anything. You see people gathering, they are saying, we are in Bello Turchi farm, we are cultivating Bello. People have to. So in many towns in that area, he appoints the leaders. He will remove the one known, and unless you have allegiance with him, no one can operate and stay. So this is how bad it is.
Now, still on this, idea of this peace deal. I mean, we know how peace deals go. Most of these truces are broken very quickly and very easily, and usually after a short while. So do you think that this could also be the case, after a short while, the problems come back again, even after this peace deal?
I think no one can promise an easy going for a truce. Let's go to history lane. The one done during in Kazina before, and also in Zamfara, all have broken. I think they were done before. Was it? I think before Buhari regime. No, it was during Buhari's administration. But apart from those two ones that were done then and were celebrated, the governors standing side by side with some kingpins of these bandits, or later it deteriorated. But now looking very close, the one that was done in Bilingwari is promising, because at the end of the day, it is a bit different from those ones. Because the one in Birmingham, all parties, the people realize that there's no future. Neither the herdsmen, neither the city dwellers are living, getting what they need to get in life. So everyone is bored, and they now, and finally, this truce was ended, and even the bandits, the sheer criminals too, realized that they have nothing to gain, and that it was done, and markets start operating, and people start rearing their animals and farms. So that one was promising. So in life, you can practice something and fail, but it does not mean that you will not practice it again. And I think the one in Buningwari have proven that because we have tried 2 times and failed, it does not mean that we cannot also still try. Especially when the other option that we have has not conclusively solved the problem. I mean, the use of firearms have not yet, proffer a conclusive solution to it. So it's just that we hope and pray that we learn from what happened in Beningwari and deploy it in this part of Sokoto State, looking at the exigencies and what is on the ground, because it may not be the same. There may be some peculiarities with this place where we are in. And also to encourage same in Niger and Zamfara, so that when we have this peace, it's not going to be just an enclave. When you have an enclave, all the others, other parts are not taken along. I think that's when we always have it degenerating or becoming more fierce in other parts.
All right, Barrister Calgo. I mean, hopefully we'll see, where this peace deal leads at the end of the day. But thank you so much for your time and for joining us this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister Calgo.
My pleasure. I'm grateful.
All right, and with that, we've come to the end of the show this morning. Thank you so much for staying with us, for starting your morning with us. It's always a pleasure, to have you with us. Well, I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha.
And I am Lillian Wali.
And we'll be connecting to our Abuja studios for the continuation of the morning show. Have a lovely day.
When a couple of years ago, I started hearing about the efforts of some Igbo sons to put up a center that will, among other things, focus on Ndi Igbo, our history, our culture, our contemporary issues and challenges, and of course our future, I was cautiously optimistic. Optimism because I knew the pedigree of those behind it, but curious because I knew it was a tall order, a Herculean task. A few years later, I am happy to reveal that my optimistic expectations have been surpassed, and I'm amazed by the progress already made by the Center for Memories. So let me begin by congratulating the Center for the great job they have done and still doing for Ncheta Ndi Igbo. I'm extremely excited for being chosen to speak today at a very important time when Ndi Igbo is at crossroads, yearning for reinvention and a new and more meaningful future. I see this as a humbling privilege and an opportunity to lend my voice to this reawakening and search for self of Ndi Igbo. Like the old East Central State newspaper was entitled, The Renaissance. I don't know how many that will agree with these issues I will raise today. But my intention really is to start a robust conversation that continues beyond today, outside the walls of this center. It should have been sometime in 1967 or thereabout. My memory of the events of that era are so hazy, but I believe it was early in the morning at the thick of the Nigerian Civil War, and our family was moving again, evacuating from my father's maternal home as the federal forces were closing in on our entire community. Achi, in Oji River local government area of ENUGU State. My parents and other relations were prioritizing which property would be included in our luggage as we headed for a safer location, far from the invading federal troops determined to crush the Biafran resistance. This unfortunate morning, I was crying and rolling on the ground because my greatest earthly possession, my bicycle, was going to be abandoned as we were fleeing to safety. No family member had a vehicle to transport our belongings, and in the scale of preference, my bicycle did not make the list of important items to be evacuated. I was beyond myself in grief, as my little mind could not comprehend why my most prized possession was going to be abandoned. My parents were sad, but there was practically nothing they could do to assuage their child's pain. This is how, as a little child of about 3.5 years, I became familiar with the title of today's conversation, Ebezina. Ebezina, Ebele, Ebewule, depending on what your dialect is. Ebezina. Thank you. Depending on what your dialect is, Ebezina could be a word of consolation, a word of encouragement, hope, or even a reprimand. In some situations, Ebezina can be a call to action. The truth is that Ebezina, stop crying, derived from Ibakwa, crying. As much as it is used to express or address pain, loss, deprivation, or even maltreatment, if it lingers and becomes a recurring decimal or situation, it could be seen as a sign of weakness, disadvantage, failure, or defeat. And they'll be calling you cry baby. Sometimes it's marks of inability of a person or group to identify challenges, confront it, overcome it, and rise above it. So today, I'm arguing that this crying by Igbo people needs to stop. Igbos have cried enough. It is time to take their fate in their hands. Ndị Igbo have to retreat. Ndị Igbo have to re-strategize and re-examine how the Igbo nation is engaging with the rest of Nigeria, how we are confronting our many challenges, how we are collaborating among ourselves, and how to prioritize our needs as a people. We must stop bemoaning our fate and do something about it today, not tomorrow. There is no doubt that Ndi Igbo have over a long time faced existential threats in this country called Nigeria. Nigeria. For Ndi Igbo, the word marginalization has become synonymous with our complaints about the challenges we face in our nation today. Some have even taken it further to say that Igbos are not only marginalized, but hated by other tribes in Nigeria. So I ask this evening, are Igbos marginalized? Many of our brothers and sisters will answer in the affirmative, but I want to differ somehow by saying that the greatest marginalization against the Igbos is not the marginalization by others. It is not the marginalization by other tribes, but the marginalization of Igbos by Igbos, especially the elites and those that have been entrusted with leadership positions. What is the situation? In the last 26 years, the 5 states of the Southeast have collected trillions of naira in federal government allocations, and add that to their internally generated revenue. Also add extras from ecological fund, the occasional windfalls, and the billions the individual state governments have borrowed or grants they have received from international donor agencies. When you look at these humongous figures, tell me, does anywhere in the Southeast look like an environment where this kind of money has been spent, utilized, or invested in? Does our schools or hospitals in Abakaliki, in Oka, in Enugu, Owerri, or Umuahia reflect the recycled huge amounts the states budget every year for education or health, ditto for other sectors? In all the Southeast today, show me one standard and functional hospital of repute that is run by government that provides affordable health care for Ndi Igbo. Between 1957 and 1966, Dr. Michael Ihonu Karopara, Premier of the Eastern Region, caused what I like to call an infrastructural earthquake and kicked off a developmental revolution in all sectors, including agriculture, education, industrialization, health, tourism, just name it. Few years into his premiership, 1964 to be precise, Eastern Nigeria became the fastest growing and industrializing economy in the world, ahead of Malaysia, South Korea, Taiwan, and Singapore. My dear brothers and sisters, where are these countries today, and where is the Southeast? And we are talking about marginalization. In the First Republic, when he was doing all these miracles, oil was not a factor, and there were no monthly federal allocations to be shared. More than 60 years after, every Igbo man is yearning for the reenactment of that golden era. But as they say, and I ask, Umunnem, Obuna Wambweke, Amara Akwisi, Kobuna Agoba de Ronko. At a point during the Jonathan administration, Igbos held many strategic positions. Where did those positions take the Igbo man? At that time, how did our brothers and sisters use their positions to the advantage of Ndi Igbo? Or did they just use it for personal aggrandizement? The Enugu Onitsha Road and the Port Harcourt ENUGU road are forever under construction and remains a nightmare that has further compounded the security situation in Igbo land. Yet, we've had governors, ministers, and legislators who represent us in the National Assembly and the Federal Executive Council. Many say that while their cheeks and pockets grew fatter, they will continue to suffer neglect. In politics, how have we fared? The most disgraceful outing was in 2023, when most Nigerians and even non-Nigerians believed it was the turn of Igbos to become president. Many of our brothers connived with people of other tribes and truncated that opportunity. Not only did outsiders work against us, but we worked against ourselves. There were so many enemies within, or saboteurs, a word that became popular during the Nigerian Civil War. Thank God for P2B and Labour Party, which made it possible for Igbos to be counted in 2023. Unfortunately, with all his efforts, the presidency still eluded Igbo. Still fresh in our minds is the 1999 betrayal of Dr. Alex Ekwueme at the PDP convention in Jos, and other opportunities where Igbos just flunked it because Ndi Igbo worked against themselves. And we are talking about marginalization. Nigeria stands on three tripods: Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. Is it not worrisome that while the Hausas and Yorubas have taken more than one turn in the presidency, Igbos are still docilely waiting? My question is, waiting for who? Power is taken, not given. The other problem with our politics is our political office recruitment system, which has ignored merit and has tilted towards mediocrity. In the old Igbo traditional collegiate leadership, what gave you a seat at the table was hard work and success. So, the best hunter, the best wrestler, the best farmer, and so on, successful people with pedigree, track record, and character were the ones the villages sent to the elders' council. Today, in Igbo land, what qualifies a good number of our people to public office are mundane and pedestrian considerations. Those more likely to get to office to represent our people are the guy or guys, or the guy who carries a bag for the governor, or the guy who cleans the senator's shoes, his barber, his PA, or the chief thug of the chairman of the party. At the end, these, in quotes please, servant leaders, because they are servant leaders, get to office confused and lost. And before they get their bearing, the tenure is over, and they return with billions of naira in their pockets to cause trouble in our communities. Painfully, if nothing is done, 2027 will be more disastrous. One of the biggest issues in Nigeria today is state creation. And what you hear in Igbo land is a staccato of voices and cacophony of presentations. Discordant tunes that may deny the Southeast its right to getting at least 2 more states. It beats the imagination of many, not just me, why Igbos, for something as important as this, are not speaking with one voice, or even in a room having a conversation about it. Why did governors of the Southeast, or Hanez and Igbo, not convoke a meeting before now to make an effort towards consensus or come up with a well-articulated strategy or to demand for additional states for the Southeast? This is the same way we have handled the agitation for a better treatment of Igbo by the government of Nigeria. Instead of collaboration between the agitators and the Igbo intelligentsia and leaders, there was a complete disconnect. There was not even an agreement among Igbos on whether we should exit Nigeria or constructively engage in Nigerian states from within. It was just confusion. Igbos continued working at cross purposes, and no meaningful progress has been made to confront the ill treatment of Igbos, or whether you call it marginalization or what, by the Nigerian state. No meaningful progress. Igbo unity and oneness is another kettle of fish. In 2017, Peter Opaleke from Anambra State, now Cardinal Opaleke, was posted to Ahiarambise Catholic Diocese as bishop, but was stoutly rejected by his fellow Igbo people, who tagged his posting as discrimination in Igbo land. For 8 long years, they were up in arms until the bishop resigned and the Pope had to withdraw him. But thank God today, he is a cardinal of the Catholic Church. Is there something others are doing differently in Nigeria? During the Obasanjo regime, the South-South region mounted a campaign for the presidency. At that time, I worked for Chief Raymond Dokwesi, founder of Ray Power and AIT, who was one of the pillars of that agitation. So I had a somewhat front row seat. One thing I noticed was that the riotous political atmosphere in the South-South quieted, and sworn enemies made up. Political opponents started collaborating and planning. While the militants made the creeks ungovernable, disrupting oil production, the political leaders, elites, and elders were engaging the Nigerian authorities. It didn't happen in our case. Confusion. I also discovered that a good number of their political office holders were providing the resources for the advocacy and efforts made towards the agitation and engagements. There were a lot of planning, openly and covertly. And as they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to lose. A question for the Bulls. Their media owners were empowered, funded, and galvanized to drive the campaign. I remember in 2000, as a staff of AIT, we were going to be shut down by those we had borrowed money to start the business. It was the leaders of the South-South, besides Nigerians that contributed 50 kobo, 1 naira. It was the leaders, political leaders of South-South, that found a way around it and provided the money for AIT to survive. That is what regions that know what they are doing do. In summary, every hand was on deck, and there was common purpose by the people of the South-South. The South-South did not win the presidency in 2007, But Jonathan became vice president, and the rest is history. Tinubu is today the Nigerian president. Because of Tinubu, everyone in Nigeria knows the meaning of Emiloko. For the man, also known as the Jagaban, to have the audacity, even power, he took it. Some even says he seized it. While Tinubu was governor, and after he left office, he invested and continued to invest in human beings. He left office in 2007. All over Yoruba land, Tinubu identified young leaders, made some commissioners, gave them positions, mentored them, and empowered them. He guided and protected their political growth. One became vice president, some became governors, some became ministers, and many ended up in the National Assembly. His mentees were everywhere, pulling strings, including in other regions of the country. And we saw what happened in 2023. For 16 whole years, Mr. Tinubu never sought office. Rather, Mr. Tinubu provided a ladder for others to climb, while his contemporaries in Igbo land were busy betraying their kinsmen and contesting for any available office with people young enough to be their children. For 16 years, Tinubu organized the Yorubas. Of course, not all Yorubas agreed with him, but a good number of them bought into his vision. Tinubu also knows how to engage other tribes. As part of the 2015 election approached, he, with other opposition leaders, gave birth to ADC, where we learned he had to give up the vice presidency just to ensure that the coalition project succeeded and Buhari became president. He allowed his commissioner to become vice president. He didn't say it must be me, because he had a nation's agenda, the Yoruba man's agenda. He knew that that would help it. So he stepped down. He killed his ambition at that time. Under the AC platform, 4 years earlier, Tinubu had supported another northerner called Nuhu Ribadu, if you remember, who is today his national security advisor. Today, Bola Tinubu is the president of Nigeria. What do I think Ndi Igbo should be doing? Ndi Igbo must define their purpose, their objective, and their mission. Ohaneze Ndi Igbo should be repurposed and made relevant, or a new organization should be founded. As the apex socio-political body in Igbo land, Ohaneze must reflect that status in character and in action. The Ohaneze and Igbo leaders should stop sheepishly following state governors and political office holders about. Ohaneze should be the voice of reason and provide the proper direction for Ndi Igbo. Our wealthy sons and daughters, both at home and abroad, must get involved with raising funds to support Igbo causes. If organizations like Ohaneze are well funded, they will be more independent and they will be able to appropriately represent Ndi Igbo interests rather than the interests of transient political office holders. Collaboration is key to development. Actually, collaboration has become the currency of today. I believe that for the Southeast to make any intentional progress, the 5 states of Southeast need to work together and we need the governors to drive it. Dubai is an emirate in the United Arab Emirates. A lot of us here have been to Dubai. It is like a state or a region in Nigeria. Dubai is not the richest emirate in UAE, but there was an intentional effort by its leaders to develop Dubai, and then other emirates, including the richest Abu Dhabi, started playing catch-up, trying to copy Dubai. And today, Dubai has become the greatest destination in the world. Achieving it is not rocket science, but needs dexterous planning and execution. Instead of turning one state in the southeast into an unachievable and unsustainable Dubai in Africa, can we turn the southeast into that El Dorado? A true southeast development body needs to be instituted, funded, and made functional to drive such collaborations. Unlike what we have seen in the past, this body must have a life of its own and funding structured in such a way that it is not dependent on the whims of a particular governor or individual dashing us money. The Southeast must partner in what I want to call joint regional projects in different sectors. For example, a rail line or a monorail connecting the 5 southeastern states, starting from ENUGU through Oka all the way to Onitsha, and then goes all the way to Owerri, connects to Aba, comes through Umuahia, goes to Ebonyi, and returns to Enugu. Will not only be viable, but will be attractive to any investor, as it will be easy for a return on investment. I remember when I was serving in the Enugu government, the Enugu state government wanted to do a monorail. Even then, I argued that who was going to sustain a monorail for Enugu state? Will the monorail only go from New Market to Agbani Road, or from Agbani Road to Uti? It will not be sustainable. So we need, a bigger elephant in the room for this to happen. A regional highway linking the 5 eastern states is also achievable. Why, for instance, can the Southeast have a regional first-class university owned by the 5 states that would train the best brains in Igbo land? Or an ultra-modern hospital comparable to the best in the world? Why can't it happen? Somebody should tell me why. A simple AI query I made gave me this, and I quote: "The Igbo people are a significant economic force in Nigeria, known for the entrepreneurial spirit, robust trade networks, and contributions to various sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, and small businesses. Their strong emphasis on apprenticeship and networking, along with their resilience, has fueled their economic success despite challenges." Unquote. Today, Igbos dominate a lot of sectors in Nigeria. In retail, in aviation, in hospitality, Igbos have their fingers in many pies. We need to sit down to discuss how these areas of advantage can be strengthened and exploited for the good of the Southeast. Igbos must invest more in manufacturing to create more value chains, especially in the creation of jobs and employment. In the early 90s, former governor of Anambra State, Dr. Chukwuemeka Ezeife, God bless his soul, championed the Think Home philosophy, which encouraged Igbo entrepreneurs to bring their businesses home, including those in diaspora. There is no better time to do it But now, every day our brothers and sisters doing business in other parts of Nigeria and the world complain of attacks from their hosts. Our brothers in Ghana are going to be thrown out because one of our brothers said he wanted a kingdom and they sold land to him, and when he wanted to develop and feel good, now they want to throw out all the Nigerians. Our governments in the Southeast must create a welcoming and conducive atmosphere to attract these entrepreneurs back home. This new trend in the Southeast, that the only way for state governments to grow their internally generated revenue is by taxation, has to stop. It is not only driving away investors, but it is killing our small businesses and killing our people. Our governments in the Southeast should be more creative and innovative and come up with revenue generation mechanisms that will not impoverish our people or scare businesses away. Forgive me, Ndi Igbo needs a Tinubu who will demand and seize the presidency. We need rich Igbo men who will identify credible and trustworthy politicians and invest in them. We need our own Tinubu who will look the rest of Nigeria in the eye and tell them, "Nke bụ oge nke anyị." We need political leaders that will not seek power for only himself, but will also be willing